Hello and welcome to Clarifiedbetter Show, a place where we talk to our guests to try to help your hotel make more money, save cost, or train your team. We all know how beneficial solar power plants are for our environment. Today on our show, we have TK Vishwanath, who will be talking about solar power and its benefit if it is implemented in your hotel. But before we begin, if you would like to train your team, the Learning Library on clarifiedbetter.com is a resource for you to offer a cost-effective learning solution to your team. With over 50 courses and 750 lessons, the Learning Catalog has something for all departments to learn. With one small annual payment, all your team members will get unlimited access to the content library for an entire year. And what's more, if someone new joins, they get access to all of it as well at no extra cost. So visit clarifiedbetter.com/team to contact us and enroll your hotel. Once again, the link is clarifiedbetter.com/team. And now, on to our show with Mr. TK Vishwanath. Welcome to the show. Why don't you start letting our audience know a little bit about yourself and what you are doing currently?
Thanks, Veena. It's been a pleasure to be on your show, and the subject given to me has been on solar energy. Yes, it's a big subject that goes to hours of discussion. But first, I'll give you a brief about myself. I have approximately 34 years experience in the power sector, right from day one after my graduation, engineering graduation, of course, from Bombay, and 34 years, 35th year in running, and selling generators right from a smaller capacity to the largest one, which is of highly capital intensive. Of the couple of years, almost 10 years now, we have been seeing the renewable energy getting a lot of focus. And yes, initially we had issues of availability of products, but today with governments and the international markets opening up, the focus on solar energy has been tremendous. The benefits that you actually see from solar energy is mind-boggling. One is it helps you to save energy. It generates power and the best part is, being in India, the irradiance level available is almost 350. We are blessed with more than 350 days of sunshine. Now, instead of wasting this sunshine, if we could utilize that and make the best use of it, of converting it into energy, would be a long-term investment. And not only that, it will be investment that could help you to reach the return on investment would be quicker.
So, can you please tell me, how does solar work?
Okay, just to give you an idea, it is not just the light, it is the irradiance level of the sun rays that is more important for generation. And once it falls on a photovoltaic cell, the sun rays is converted into electrical energy, which is passed on from cell to cell, and then basic fundamentals of the series and parallel ensures the voltage level to be reached. The standard voltages of a panel is anything between 38 to 40 volts, or for a 12 volt on grid or off grid system, the panels are designed.
Oh, that's nice. There's a lot of complicated process going on in between from the sunlight.
I could get more in detail, but the time frame and the audience, the session that would be required is much more in detail to get into the fundamentals of solar energy, how it is done. It will be at least an hour or two to explain the entire process.
Oh, okay. All right.
But in short, you have an angle of incidence of the sun because the sun moves from east to west. It has got an angle during winter, it has got an angle in summer. So your panels are guided in such a way that it has almost perpendicular access to the sun rays, and the sun rays, the irradiance level is converted and is converted into electrical energy using a solar cell. So number of solar cells depend on the wattage of the panel, and thereby, and also depending on the make of the panels, you have a different application what is available to you.
That's
So
nice.
if you have to go into the details of that, it would take a little more time. And if the audience is interested, we could have a separate session purely on the fundamentals.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, that's wonderful. It's a vast topic, I believe.
It is a topic which is actually not very vast, but the understanding and the fundamentals has to be very clear. Thereby, that there is a proper understanding on the subject so that you can make maximum use of solar energy.
All right. Okay. Uh, so, how much space do you need if I want to implement solar in my hotel?
The thumb rule for calculation today of the standard PV modules or panels available is 100 square feet per kilowatt. That is, 1000 watts will require 100 square feet.
Okay.
So if you have an open shadow-free area of 100 square feet, you can generate 1000 watts or 1 kilowatt.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
For 1,000 watt, what all applications, what all equipments can work in that? What all appliances can work, like electric?
It is not well that it can be directly connected to the load. No, it cannot. Because if you see, generally you generate in 1 kilowatt approximately 4.2 to 4.5 units per day. It's a parabolic curve that will be achieved. I could show you a typical example of how the solar energy goes from the sunrise, it is lower, and as the sun picks up by 10, 11 o'clock, the irradiance level is much better, and then you hold it onto a peak, and thereby you are in a position to stand and see, and it dies down as the sun sets, so the power reduces. So it is effectively a parabolic curve that is generated. I could show you a small example of a generation which is happening to our plant. I'm not too sure if you can see it because you can see
Yes.
the current position. You can see the current, it is 2.82 kilowatt. This is in a house establishment.
Oh.
And so far what you have generated is 9.15 units. If you take the previous day, last 7 days, this is the generation of our last 7 days, more or less, depending on what has been installed. So I have got a 4 kilowatt plant put up, and these are the details of 4 kilowatt. So the 4 kilowatt multiplied by 4.4 is 16. So you can see it's approximately 16 to 17 units per day, depending on sunlight available falling onto the panel over a period of time. Now, just to take it further, you will see this parabolic curve. At morning 6 o'clock, the generation starts, and then it goes on. And at this current point of time, that is what is being generated. 2.82 kilowatt is on available, and so far it has generated 9 units of power. So this is what you look at on an on-grid system. In an off-grid system, you generate this energy to charge your batteries through an inverter. And once the battery is charged, when there is a power failure, you discharge the batteries through an inverter. The capacity of the inverter will determine how much load you can apply, whether it is 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt. So, like I said Veena earlier, that this is a subject which requires little more time to understand the fundamentals clearly so that there is proper concept is understood. But it's a very interesting subject today, and solar energy available free of cost. Your general payback, if you're looking at from an investment point of view, could in a residence it could be within 5 to 6 years, whereas in an industry you get loans from the bank at a much lower rates, and what happens is the payback on equity is within 1 year, but the payback on the investment will be between 4 to 5 years.
Wow, that's a excellent information actually out there. Those who are looking for to save cost in the hotel, this if this plant is implemented, it will make a huge difference.
It does make a significant difference on installation of solar energy plants.
About the return on investment. So basically, how much money does it cost? How much will a project cost, and what will be the return on investment?
Okay, now the thumb rule to the business is depending on type of installation that you're going to put, because there are three types of panel, two types basically available. One is a polycrystalline panel, second is a monocrystalline panels. Then the type of if you're looking at solar tract, then the investment could be more. But for a standard polycrystalline fixed frame system, you can take as a thumb rule as for 1,000 watts of power, that is 1 kilowatt, it's all inclusive. That is supply, install, you test it, you commission the plant and put it on use. Could be between 45 to 50,000 rupees a kilowatt. That is 1,000 watts. So for a better understanding, per watt is 45 to 50 rupees per watt.
Okay. That's
So if you're planning to do a budgeting exercise, this is the figure that you should take and go, and then depends on your skills of purchasing, how you are able to do it.
okay. That's nice. So I wanted to ask you, what is the difference between polycrystalline and the other one, monocrystalline?
The polycrystalline is type of the crystals that is used, which is little more cheaper compared to the monocrystalline. It's a big subject. It will take me some time to explain from the fundamentals. So we will leave it at this. There are basically two types. The efficiency levels are less. The efficiency level is only 14% to 15%, whereas monocrystalline, you will get higher efficiency to the tune of 19% today. So your output generation of 4.5 units per kilowatt per day will be better if you use monocrystalline panels compared to polycrystalline panels.
So will you suggest monocrystalline or polycrystalline for the industry?
Industry per se, I would suggest that polycrystalline, because the bank that they would go in will be huge. Could be 100 kilowatt, 200 kilowatt, 500 kilowatt, a megawatt, depending on the resource available to put up plant. And also, not only that, it is not that once you put up 100 kilowatt, you will not be able to expand it. You can always expand it depending on the resources available and as you want to grow. Yes, but generally in the industries today, what is available and what is favored is polycrystalline. But if you are looking at areas where the sunlight is less, like Ooty, those sort of areas, we would suggest that you go for monocrystalline panels, because the output generated would be better, because the efficiency levels are higher in a monocrystalline compared to a polycrystalline.
Okay. Question is, what sort of saving can I expect?
Okay, I will put it this way. If you are, because it changes from the tariff cost that you pay to the utility company. It varies from 6 rupees to 10 rupees a unit. Okay. So the most important part here is the life of an installation is 20 years. If your return on capital investment is smaller, the rest is free of cost. That means your return of investment is within 3 years of the investment that you make. The balance, say 15, 17 years, is the energy which is available free for you. In other words, to make it much more simpler, if today you are consuming 100 units and you are paying your utility company at the rate of say 10 rupees per unit, so 10 into 100, 1,000 rupees. But by putting solar, if I am able to generate say 100 out of 100 units, I am able to generate 20 units. So I effectively save by paying only for 80 units compared to 100 units. So that is how the savings. The savings in solar energy depends on what is the load that you have and what is how much you can put solar system on in place, and not only that, it is the return on investment that you look at, because the life of a solar system is minimum 20 to 25 years, and you look at payback. If it is within 5 years of your investment that you make, the life of the equipment is the balance 15 years multiplied by per month whatever you are going to pay for to the tariff would be your savings.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Wow, it is so cost effective and so such a renewable source of energy. Why isn't it developed yet?
First and foremost was the information was not available. The technology didn't get the focus. The government didn't give proper guidance to manufacturing of this, or subsidies or encouragement. And today the government is giving a lot of subsidies and encouragement to put up plants which manufacture and can also sell power to customers.
Oh, that's a good start, and that's wonderful initiative. So, if I want to implement a solar project for my hotel, where can I contact you?
We are speaking on the phone, on the video right now. Where I can be contacted, but I am
Yes.
always available. And if anybody in the system wants to get in touch with me, I would ask them to contact you to get in touch with me. So absolutely not an issue. We in fact provide a total comprehensive proposal, right from the cost of the system, the payback arrangement, payback calculations, and also life of equipment. We will provide you with all the details. So it should not be a issue at all for your understanding.
Excellent. Excellent. So it is solar power is always encouraging those who want to install it. It will definitely save cost
Yes.
and save the environment as well.
Any assistance required from my end, please do not hesitate. Get in touch with me. We will work it out.
Well, thank you so much. And also, I would like to thank our audience for watching this show on YouTube or listening to the podcast. The Clarified Better Show is available in video and audio format and is available on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. If you like what we are doing, please do leave a comment or review so that it helps us. Well, Mr. Vishwanath, it is such a great pleasure talking to you. And thank you so much for giving us all the information on solar. Definitely there is more to it, but it is a very essential part in today's world. And thank you so much for giving the information so that everybody will be aware of how beneficial it is. Thank you so much for coming to our show.